Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to work with more mature skins. This is the beautiful Alice. She's in her 40s, so we're going to be working on skin texture and luminosity. We're just going to do a really beautiful soft glowy look. Alice has eyelash extensions on, so I'm going to show you how to work around the extensions and a few little tips and tricks to how you can overcome getting any product on the lashes. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to start by exfoliating. This is the Murad Rapid Resurfacing Peel. So these have a little bit of glycolic acid in them, so you do need to be careful with anyone that's got super sensitive skin. So these just really help to brighten the skin and they just lift off any dead skin cells. So whether you're a makeup artist doing this look on somebody else, or if you are in fact in your 40s and you're just looking for a little bit of advice to change up your skincare and your makeup, these are something that you can really add into your kit or use at home. And we're really going to work on Alice's skin before we do any sort of foundation. Okay, so we're going to use the Max Fix Plus Magic Radiance. So just give it a bit of a shake and then close. So this is a fantastic new Fix Plus that MAC came out with, and it's just super hydrating for the skin and just helps lock in the skin's natural moisture. And you can just use your hands just to go over, press that all in. And the skin feels nice and soft now after the exfoliation. I am gonna just hydrate Alice's lips with the Frank Body Lip Balm. Already got this ready. So I'm just gonna go over the lips and just smush your lips together. Perfect. So I'm going to use the Dynamic Skin Recovery Moisturizer by Dermalogica. This is fantastic for more mature skins. I've been using this for years on myself. It has a SPF 50 in it as well, so it just helps protect the skin from the sun. Alice has a little bit of pigmentation around her chin. Now you can get that from pregnancy and also just living in the sun as we get older. So it's really important to make sure that you use SPFs in your daily routine. And this, I find, is the best one. It doesn't clog the skin, and it also just gives a really nice glow as well. And then bring your head back around. This also layers beautifully under foundation and just helps with the overall glow of the skin. And bring this down the neck and also across the chest as well. You can already see your skin looks nice and dewy. I'm going to use a smoothing primer. This is by Paula's Choice. I love this for anybody that's over 30 really. It's just great for it. It just helps to smooth the surface of the skin. It's what I call a bridge builder, so it helps with fine lines. It just helps to fill in the gaps a little bit. It's also good on large pores. And I use it right underneath the eye. Just making sure that that's all absorbed. And you just want to give the skin a minute or so before you apply a foundation. So I'm just going to have a little look at Alice's brows and just brush them up. What I like to do when working with lash extensions is just give them a little bit of a comb. So you just need to be really, really gentle and just be careful not to pull any out. But if you just look down for me, I like to support the lid and then just really, really lightly brush them through because they can get a little bit knotted up. And just making sure that they're all facing the same way and that you're respecting the lash extensions as well. So this just helps revitalize the lashes and just make them nice and fluffy. For Alice's skin, I'm going to be using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. This is such a great product to use on lots of different skin types. I find that you can mix it with your foundations, but it's also good to use underneath your foundations as well. perfect for more warmer skin tones. Alice spends quite a lot of time outside with her beautiful horses, so she does have a natural tan. And all this work you're doing now, it just really helps to make the skin super glowy. So I'm going to be using liquid blush in Orgasm by NARS. So this is a little trick that you can do to give that skin the glow from within look. And I'm going to use it underneath my foundation. Just a nice big fluffy brush, and just pop that on the cheeks. And when you put your foundation over the top, you just get this beautiful glow through the foundation, which looks super natural. It looks bright at the minute, but it all blends in. For the foundation, I'm actually going to be using a tinted moisturizer. This is the Illusion Skin Tint by Hourglass. This is such a beautiful product. I'm going to pop some on my palette, and I'm using my Shuamera blush brush as a foundation brush, and I'm just going to go over the skin. This is in the color beige. So this really helps to make the skin look nice and luminous. It's not as heavy as normal foundation. So it won't sit heavy on the skin. So I'm going to use this through the center of the face. And I like to use a fluffy brush as well. I feel like you get a really nice light coverage. And you have to be careful when choosing foundations for anybody that's over 30, really, because if you use anything that's too drying on the skin or too matte, it's just gonna age the skin. It's just gonna make the skin look really flat. And what we're trying to do is just bring some vitality into the skin. So I love to use this on myself as well, this product. It's just such a beautiful sheer product, but it's buildable, so you can build up where you need a little bit of extra coverage. Take it down the neck just slightly. I feel you just need to be really careful with the texture of the skin on the neck and the chest. Sometimes if you use foundation on these areas, it can actually accentuate fine lines. So just be really sparing over these areas. This is, ooh, it's new. This is the Pro Palette by MAC. It's a full coverage foundation, but I'm actually just going to use it just to help conceal the areas that we need a little bit more help around the nose. So I'm just going to use my spatula and pop a bit on my palette. And you can just see what colors we want to use. So I'm going to use some of the warmer tones. A little bit under the eyes. And then I'm going to use a fluffy brush, and again using the palette to mix and blend the colors that we need. Let's do that around here. So I'm just going to use a slightly darker one around the edges of the face again. And you can do this with any darker foundation that you have. A lot of people have a light foundation for summer and a darker foundation for winter, so you can mix these together. And I find using fluffy brushes really just helps to get that diffused airbrush look. And then we're going to go around the nose. And if you were doing this on yourself, you can use the warmth of your finger to press that into the nose. But I really do like using a brush. I feel it gives you a more professional finish. And so this is really great to use over pigmentation. So I'm using a slightly darker color on Alice's chin and just around the jaw, just to color correct the area here. Just bring your head around this way. Perfect. Skin looks beautiful, nice and glowy. I'm gonna add a little bit of this eye brightener under Alice's eyes just to lift up any little circles. And I'm gonna mix it directly in with what I've already got. And that way it's not too stark on the eyes. When you mix them together, it just helps give you a more natural finish. Some of the under eye brighteners can be quite bright. So by mixing it with your concealer, you just get a more natural finish. And you can see already that that's really brightened up under the eyes. So I'm just taking the product right up by the side of the nose, right in the inner eye, under the brow bone almost, and that just really brightens and lifts that area. We can have quite deep shadows in those areas, so it really helps if you can get a little bit of highlighter in those areas. And then I just use whatever's left on my brush just to go down the center of the face to really lift and illuminate. So when you're working around the nose, you just need to be really sparing with your product on any little fine lines. You can go in with a beauty blender, or you can use a clean brush just to press over those areas so the product doesn't gather. Okay, and then just close your eye for me. So I'm just gonna take whatever's left on my concealer brush and just work it over the lid. I am gonna use some cream eyeshadows, but I just wanna even out any redness. And again, when working around lashes, just be really careful that you don't disturb them. Tapping motions is a really great way to do that. I'll just turn your head this way. And this also gives you the opportunity to get right in the inner corners of the eye, just to even out. Gorgeous, and just bring your head back. So I'm happy with the way your skin's looking now. You look lovely. I'm gonna be using the Nude Sticks Luminous Eye colors. This is in the color Immortal. So these are amazing to use on any skins really, but I find that cream eyeshadows are the most flattering for anybody over the age of 35. I'm just gonna load up my brush. This is the Luxe Pencil 230 by Zoeva. And that's it. I'm just gonna lift Alice's lid just slightly and then being really careful with the placement. Making sure that you get right into the lash line without disturbing the lashes. So I'm just doing a bit of a windscreen wiper motion. And then I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush to soften and blend that in. So these do dry quite quickly, so you do need to work reasonably fast with them. But they're super long lasting and I find that they just wear really well. And so when you're working with slightly more mature skins, you do need to be careful what textures you use on the eyes. I find that anything too shimmery is just gonna draw attention to any fine lines, and anything too matte can actually make the skin look really dry and crepey, which is obviously not what we want. So I find that the creams are just the perfect balance. And these have a little bit of a shine, just open for me, and they really just give the skin and the eyes a really nice finish. And then I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush. This is my Anastasia Beverly Hills blending brush A10. It's one of my favorite blending brushes to use. And I'm just gonna take off the edge of the eyeshadow. And then just open. And when you're doing this yourself at home, you just wanna make sure that you don't go too high on the brow bone. We wanna keep it just in that area on the lid. And just close. As you can see, I'm just layering up the intensity. So you can use the same color, but a little bit more on the outer corners, and it will just give you a little bit more depth. And then I'm going to do the other side. So just bring your head around. So I'm now using the angle brush just to really get in right at the very base of the lashes. So these 4 brushes here are great to have in your kit. So you have your flat eyeshadow brush, your blending brush, your angle brush, and your bullet pencil brush. These are amazing to have yourself if you're doing makeup for yourself. And they're also essential for a makeup artist who's creating looks like this. Okay, so just open for me. And I'm gonna go underneath the eye now. So just look up. So using the angle brush now, just to really get in under the eye. So these sit beautifully underneath the eye as well. They're also really long lasting, so they don't transfer, which again is really important. And just bring your head around this way. So always connecting the top and the bottom lash line. I'm just gonna bring that straight across the eye. And then just close. And then connecting the top and the bottom lash line. So I'm going to repeat the same on the other eye. So just look up for me. So I use the angle brush with the point away from the nose going in, and then I spin it around and I go the other way. And that way you get a flawless transition. And you can also use the pointy bit to carve out your shape. And then if you close, and then just connect the two. And open, gorgeous. And I'm just gonna go under the eye with the pencil brush just to soften any edges. Just close for me. I'm just gonna reinforce the eyelid, making sure that I'm really happy with the intensity. And then again, just always blending. And I'm using my fluffy brush. I'm just catching now the underneath of the brow bone. I feel like it's more younger and fresher just to use one color when doing an eye with creams. So I'm now just using my fluffy blending brush just to really intensify the eye and just go over the crease and onto the brow bone. We don't want too much product on here, but I want it all to be nice and seamless. So just open for me and just take a step back. You can see that that's just super flattering on Alice's eye. And then just make sure that you're happy with the shape underneath. Perfect. So I'm just going to go in to the brows now. I might come back to the eye in a moment, but this is Cork by MAC. This is an eyebrow pen. So I find that with brows that are getting a little bit sparse, it's better to use a pen on them. So I'm just going to go in. Now all these products that I use directly onto the skin have all been sanitized before and after. I use the Beauty So Clean spray, which really helps. And so this just mimics where the natural hairs would be. And again, I'm using just a slightly lighter color than what Alice's natural brows are, and this just gives you the most natural finish. I find pens much more flattering to use as we get older than powdered eyebrow products, because you just can create the illusion of hairs. It's much more flattering on the skin and much more natural to the naked eye. Okay, and then just bring your head back around and then to the side. Always brushing up first, so brush your brows up first to see where they naturally fall. So we don't want to go too dark on the brows either, again, because that will actually be quite aging. So I'm going to use my Anastasia Beverly Hills pen in brown, and then I'm also going to use these little sticks that I got from Alibaba. So these are actually for eyelash extensions. So I find when you want to try and create a multi-dimensional brow, you need to use a few different colors. So I'm just going in with this color, and then I'm using the little wand just to soften the edges. And again, this just mimics the natural hair. Perfect, love that. And you just kind of want to do this every kind of few millimeters. You don't want to be too heavy with the darker color. Okay, and bring your head back around. So this is the Beauty So Clean Cosmetic Sanitizing Mist. So after using anything directly on the skin, you just want to sanitize it. You can also use alcohol as well on top. And that just keeps everything nice and clean. Let's have a look. I'm going to be reinforcing the eye just a little bit with my Kevyn Aucoin palette. This is the palette Focus. So I find these textures amazing on more mature skins. I'm just going to use this taupey color here. And I'm just going to go underneath the eye with my little crease brush by my Kitco. And this is a really beautiful, soft, warm, taupey color. And it's just going to set the product underneath, but it has a really rich, creamy finish. Okay, and then just close, just with that same taupey color, just to give a little bit more drama. And then just come back around and then just soften that in the crease. So just going back into that same color. This has beautiful warm undertones, so it's really flattering. I find we need to be using more warmer shades as we age, Anything too cool is just gonna wash you out. So nice, rich, warm colors are just much more flattering. Get rid of. And then blending across. So now we have the cream underneath and then the nice velvety eyeshadow on top. So that's gonna last all day now. This isn't going anywhere. So you can see that Alice's eyes are really popping now. So I love this color on her. Just close, I just wanna make sure that's all nice and evenly blended. Okay, perfect. So the concealer I'm going to use on Alice is the Flawless Fusion by Laura Mercier. This is in the color 3-1. And just going to pop a little bit on my palette. And I'm going to use a nice fluffy blending brush. This again is the Anastasia Beverly Hills in A10. I have about 5 of these brushes. I just love them. And this is great under the eyes because it is long wearing, but it's also super hydrating. So it's perfect for under the eyes. I'm just reinforcing what we did earlier. And one of the tips that I like to give my ladies who have fine lines and wrinkles around their eyes is you need to be aware that the products will gather in fine lines, and rather than trying to set it with lots of powder to lock it in, you're better off just being realistic and later on through the day, just have a look in the mirror and just press in over the makeup again with your warm finger. And this is why celebrities have makeup artists following them around all day. Makeup does move. It's good to be realistic with your clients and just let them know that that can happen. You're better off doing that than heavily powdering underneath. And it also just gives life back to the under eye. A little hot tip for you there. So this is my color convertible by Stila in Camilla. This is another one of my favorites. And I'm going in with the brush that I use for foundation just to dip in. And we're going to use this over the top of Alice's cheeks. So just turn your head around. So this has more of a bronzy glow. So we've already got the nice pink glow underneath. And then we're just going to use this over the top. I'm not going to do any contouring on Alice's skin. If you over contour as we get older, it can actually make your face look very thin. And as we age, we want to keep our skin looking nice and plump. So if you contour, you're going to end up with a very skinny face. So you can use this as a bit of a bronzer and blusher in one. It's such a beautiful color. It's great on anyone that has a bit of a tan. And creams are the perfect texture to use as we age. I find that the most flattering for the skin. I've been using creams since I was about 30 on my skin, and I just find that they give you the best finish. They're super flattering. They give you a nice glow, a really youthful appearance, and yeah, you look beautiful. So going in with my Kevin Aqua mascara. So again, you guys know that this is the only mascara I use. I find a lot of clients have got onto this mascara because it really doesn't budge. I'm just going to do the bottom lashes because we're not going to put any mascara on Alice's individual eyelash extensions. So just using your wand vertically is just a really great way of getting any really fine lashes, and I find this product is just great for building texture in the lash. It's a latex formula, so it just wraps itself around each lash individually and helps plump out fine lashes. It's really important to use a little skinny brush as well, if you can. So what I'm going to do on Alice's lashes here, just on her falsies, if you do get any fallout from your eyeshadow, you need to be really careful when using eyeshadow on individual eyelash extensions because you can get fallout. So I'd never use any pigment or anything like that, but you can use a little bit of clear mascara. And if you just look down, and then you can use the little spoolie or little applicator and just lift off any fallout that you've created from your eyeshadow on the back of the lashes. So clear mascara is fine to use on extensions, just a tiny, tiny bit, just to lift off any dust that you have from your eyeshadow. And then just look up. And then you can also just use it just to get them all in place and making sure that they're all sitting the same way. Perfect. So this is the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder. And we're just gonna go on the T-zone. So this is great for large pores. It just smooths the surface. And again, we're just gonna use it in those areas that we really need it. So just around the nose. I'm gonna leave the nose free and just get these little bits around here. So just to add a little bit more dimension and glow to Alice's skin, I'm just going to use this mineralized skin finish. This is in dark tan. This is by MAC. So this is great to use. I'll just turn your head that way. That's it. Just to give a little bit more glow. So this is instead of using a bronzer. So the mineralized skin finish is really flattering on the skin. It's super hydrating, so it's not going to give you that powdered finish, and it would just give you a little bit more glow if you feel you need it at the end, around the head. Can also go under the jaw. So this is the Eye Cheat by Charlotte Tilbury. So I'm just gonna get you to look up, and using my pad just to do a little bit of brightening in the inside of the eye. So this is a great tip if you want to make the eyes look bigger. It's also great to get rid of any discoloration on the eye. So just repeating that on the other eye. So just using your pad just to pull the eye down really gently. You don't want to disturb the makeup that you've done. And then it looks quite bright at first, but when Alice blinks, it'll all blend in. Just going back over with the mascara again. So you can see the eyes look so much wider now, so it's such a great tip. If you're feeling tired as well, it instantly revitalizes the eyes. And we're gonna finish with the lips. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of the primer again, and I just wanna go over the lips, and this just helps plump out any fine lines. This is the primer I used on the face, and you can use it on the lips as well as a little cheat. And the lip liner we're going to use is Safe Word by Smashbox. And just gonna go over Alice's lips. So you want to find something that's really similar to your natural lip color, or the person that you're doing's natural lip color, and just overline slightly, and this will just give the appearance of a fuller lip. You need to be really careful not to go over the top. I'll just bring your head around. And then when you come down to the outside corners, you can just stop a little bit shorter. If you try and take the lip liner right to the corners, it just looks a bit weird. So as we get older, our lips get a little bit thinner. So you want to create the illusion of a fuller lip just by cutting the end off slightly and then bringing it slightly lower in the center of the lips, and that way you get a more plump pout. And I'll just turn your head around this way so you can see. And again, filling the lip in, making sure that it's nice and even, and then coming back. And you can see already that that's really plumped the lip out, and it just gives the illusion of a fuller lip. Okay, this is the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Glowing Gen. So I'm just going to use a little bit on the center of the lips. This is a great color as well. It's nice and warm. And you can just reinforce your liner. Amazing. Just bring your hand this way. Gorgeous. And just going to use a little bit of gloss on the lips. This is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Balm. And this just gives a really fun, playful finish to the lips. Alice looks beautiful. This is our gorgeous, glowing, lit from within look on beautiful Alice.